One of those backyards belongs to Ruth and John Kowalski. Their home is in the town of Peshtigo, which neighbors Marinette. And until the fall of 2017, neither of them had ever heard of PFAS.
We received a letter, and it explained about the contamination in the underground water.
The Kowalskis have lived on County Road B in Peshtigo since 1981. They raised their 2 daughters here, and for much of that time, they were drinking out of a well in their backyard. So when the news of the contamination broke, they wanted answers.
And we've lived here long enough. I said, I want to have my blood tested.
Tests showed both Ruth and John had elevated levels of PFAS in their blood. Their doctor told them it's too soon to know what that will mean for their health. But the creek next to their home, where their daughters would often play, showed levels of PFAS at 1,200 parts per trillion, more than 60 times higher than the standard proposed by the state of Wisconsin to protect public health.
I'm appalled for myself, not so much for children. How dare they?
Johnson Controls has started distributing bottled water to homes in the neighborhood.
When my grandkids are here, I use it to wash any of the utensils.
The company has also pledged $140 million to clean up the contamination zone. But the Kowalskis say they're still worried about the future.
I don't let my grandchildren bathe here anymore. And we wash all the dishes with the bottled water before they're here. I don't want them because, to me, children are the ones that are going to be most likely hurt the most by this.
Just down the road, Chuck and Cindy Boyle are in a similar situation. For years, the couple has lived and worked in this community, operating their own graphic design and signage business. They bought several parcels of land along the bay, which they hoped would stay in their family for generations, until PFAS put everything on hold.
And you work really, really hard to do everything right, to make sure that, financially you can sustain that and to build your dream correctly. And we did everything right. And then this comes up and it's just like, it just makes me wild because it took every choice we had about this away.
So the Boyles decided to make another choice, to take action.
And I thought to myself, this isn't going to happen under my watch. I'm going to make a difference.
They enlisted the help of former Marinette Mayor Doug Oitzinger.
This is all contaminated. Groundwater is contaminated.
And together they formed a group called Save Our Water.
We have no idea how many years this stuff has been contaminating folks.
Among other things, the group is demanding to know why Tyco Fire Products failed to report test results in 2013 showing high levels of PFAS in the water and soil on its property.
We're all standing on contaminated property. We don't know what the long-term effects of our health are. We don't know what the long-term effects are for our economy if this bay is polluted. This is a crisis of contamination. This is a problem that will be here for decades.
The company says it thought the contamination was contained to the Fire Technology Center, but Darcy Foss from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources says Tyco could have mitigated some of the effects by reporting it sooner.
They are required to report those results to the DNR immediately. I think we thought this problem was, from an environmental standpoint, a little more isolated and more on Johnson Controls Tyco's property, and it keeps just growing and growing.
We have neighbors that have 400, 500, 600 parts per trillion in their drinking water, and they let them drink it for 4 more years. I find it immoral and unconscionable.